Hey everyone, Emanuel here, certified body code practitioner and certified group energy facilitator. What a mouthful. Anyway, I'm here to continue reading this wonderful book here. Hopefully you guys are appreciating this. Feel free to comment below. Also too, if you have any questions outside what I'm talking about, I do want to make myself available. The best place to ask questions is on my platform, so hopefully you're on it. I promote it enough, but it's haveempathyandlove.com. Again, haveempathyandlove.com. Feel free to send me a message there. Also, my email, my personal email, is compasshealingcenter@gmail.com. So I'm excited to continue looking into this. We are on page 180 to 190. Let's skip over to page 182. It talks about more serious symptoms of kidney malfunction. This is the last part of the bottom. It says swelling, and this is interesting. Swelling in the ankles or face, or what they call cankles, or obesity. Some people think, for example, that I have a few friends that they, for some reason, their face got kind of like bigger. It's not because their body got bigger, but I really feel like now that I look back, it might be a kidney issue, like a serious kidney issue. So I also found that TMJ says on the bottom, found that TMJ imbalance could be aggravated by the kidney. So just like, it's so weird how something up here is being affected by something down there, or your face is something down there. So again, this kind of adds to this whole idea of anything can cause anything. Typically, I do see the left kidney not happy first if I work with someone, but then the right kidney is still happy. Now, can both of them be unhappy? I do double check that. So it's kind of good to ask, which organ is happy. Sometimes, very rarely, the right one is unhappy and the left one's fine. So it's kind of weird. The right one, who is the reserve, gets short-circuited and the left one is doing well. Could that happen? Absolutely. So you want to just always ask, is it both kidneys? No. Is it one kidney? Yes. Is it the left one? No. Is it the right one? Yes. So, or is it the left one? Yes. And the right one is no, it's fine. So you can all muscle test that, right? So the next thing is at the bottom of page 183, it says every single disc patient that I ever saw had a kidney imbalance. This is so interesting. So if you're dealing with disc issues in your spine, there may be a high probability that your kidney is not assisting you with those alignments, that the kidney is affecting those. And it says, when we corrected the kidney imbalances, we were able to help patient get very well, except for 2 cases where they were too far gone and we had to send them for surgical intervention. Okay, page 184. The small intestines, the last symptom of the small intestine is dryness, flaking, and cracking. I have worked with dozens and dozens and dozens of people who have had some sort of skin issue. Now, some of it could be fungal, because fungal can cause rash or skin issues. But it's interesting that also the small intestine, one of the last symptoms is it can give you skin issues. It doesn't go to what types of skin issues, but you'll be surprised. I work with people and I'm like, oh, we're here at the small intestine. What are we doing here? And it actually makes a lot of sense that if you are dealing with skin issues, your small intestine is supposed to be absorbing nutrients, and then it goes into different parts of your body, your skin, and things like that, right? Well, our skin is literally a reflection of what we eat. So what we consume, whether it's like, Doritos or bad food or whatever, our skin will show it, agitation. But if we're eating very healthy foods, very rainbow colored foods, our skin will become more cleaner, it looks better, it looks brighter, because you're eating live food. So what's really interesting is, if you are having small intestine issues, there is a probability that you have skin issues. So let's go to page 185. So the colon, for example, I also, in the middle of the paragraph, talks about the colon. And what's interesting is that my mother, who was an oncologist, really did recommend that you visit a hydrotherapist at least once a year post 40. So this is, again, not my recommendation. This is my mother. She always said that around that time, most people's digestive system aren't that great. They start breaking down, similar to we have things in our skin that causes issues. For example, free radical. That's in the body code, free radical energy. can cause, it's almost like the rusting of the body, right? That's what they call it, the rusting of the body. Very similar to our organs are not working as well. Now you can use the body code to fix your digestive system and to make it operate properly. So my mother didn't know about that, you know, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to make sure there's no excess metabolic waste down there. So to have a hydrotherapy. Now I chose one, and ironically, I think he was either in Salt Lake City, or I'm trying to remember what city, but he's somewhere in the middle of Utah. And ironically, he actually was treating Dr. Brad and his wife, not that day, but he says, oh, I know them. Yeah, they come here in their plane and they do their hydrotherapy together. I'm like, that's awesome. So I actually went to that hydrotherapist in the middle of Utah, and my wife was there as well. So that's something that she recommended, again, post 40, once a year. If you haven't done it for a very long time, that hydrotherapist might say come back in 6 months or a few months, because you might have some blockage and you're stuck there. And as soon as I got out of the hydrotherapy session, I felt way calm, almost at peace with myself. I felt also my skin got clear the next few days. Also, my energy was like really high afterwards. Like I went from brain fog to like, whoa, my mind is so clear. Very similar to a infrared sauna therapy. This mental clarity just comes over you because you're removing all this excess cortisol from the body. So those are two things I recommend for you to try out. Also on 186, if you notice there that at the bottom of the colon imbalances, it says bloody stools, black stools, rectal bleeding. Very, very key is that if you are bleeding in any way, whether from the front, from the back, from your mouth, any type of bleeding, definitely go see a doctor. Don't wait for your emotion code, body code session, because that is kind of like gradual healing. And if you have an emergency issue, or you need like, as Dr. Brad calls it, like heroic measures, then please use the doctor system at that point. You know, if your arm gets cut off, you don't want to like call a practitioner and say, hey, go fix my arm and fix my depression for the fact that I have no arm anymore. You want to have someone try to attach your arm back or fix it or whatever. You know, so I had an old business partner back in the day that basically his fingers got chopped off, you know, and you wouldn't want to do a body code session on him on his grieving of his fingers. You'd probably do what his wife did, which is put those fingers inside of an ice bag, and then they restitched it and actually functions properly. Okay, let's go to something actually interesting here with the ileocecal valve. If you have irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, a lot of it is an unhappy ileocecal valve. So that is kind of a cool little key for you. Some of you guys have that. Also, let's go to page 190. One thing that I want to share there is that on page 180 on the gland chart, you'll notice that there's a lot of yellow. And yellow kind of signifies what they're talking about. So you guys are so fortunate with the new body code. I had the old one, and the pictures of it were just kind of it's almost like someone went on Google and said, let's get a picture of a heart. Let's get a picture of a liver. And it was very, how do I say this? The branding really wasn't there. It was just, back then it started off as puzzles, like little puzzle pieces. Then it went to like random Google photos. Then it went to real branding where every single image looks kind of similar, like someone created this and designed it. So everything looks like the same artist in the body code. So you're very, very fortunate. If you don't have the app, I would definitely get it, because the new versions are way better than what I had a few years back. And so anyway, that's my commentary for this page 180 to 190. Hopefully you gain some benefit from this. And feel free to comment below. What was your thing that stood out to you? I mean, not the most exciting part of the book, to be honest, but glands, ileocecal valves, we're just kind of going through the organs and glands. But it is kind of interesting. There'll be a little 2 cents in there. That'll be like, you know, if one of the ones that was kind of weird a little bit, but I was like, that's interesting, was the colon one. They said something about like you couldn't drink, there wasn't habitable water. There was like bad water everywhere. And if you wanted to, you can use sort of, not an injection, but something to kind of put water, you know, in your behind and let your colon absorb it. And he says, you might never know, you might You might use that at some point. I don't think I'll ever use that, but maybe in the future, water will become scarce, and maybe that's what will have to happen. But also, I recommend, speaking of water, that there are some water filters that I use. There's one that I bought recently that you can drink literally directly from a river. It was like $60, $70 in Costco. If times get really hard and the dollar goes down, stocks go down, things get kind of rough, there might be a shortage of water. There's a lot of water contamination happening. You may need to buy these filters where you might need to drink from a lake or a river. It may happen. So anyway, that's so random, but I just wanted to share that with you, that they do have those things. You can buy it at Costco for $60, a 4-pack. My wife and I were trying to finish our storage unit. Also, if you're someone who is preparing for your food, might as well go into this food storage unit. We have ours like maybe 6 months into it. We need 6 more months, so we have a full year. We are monitoring our journey, telling people what we're adding to our food storage thing. And so if you want to be a part of that, comment, or actually no, go down below and look for this one link where we're talking about it. It's on a topic section in H.E.A.L. So if you go in there, people are talking about it, making comments. They're talking about what's good, what's not good, what has longer shelf life, things like that. Just emergency preparedness. We do have a group like that we're talking, and there's no censoring there. So anyone can say anything they want. So anyway, thank you so much for listening. And go ahead and comment below what stood out to you, or maybe what caught your attention that maybe I didn't even talk about. I'd love to learn from you as well. And we will talk next time. Take care, guys.